Well, hello, hello. I have a very special guest that's joining me here, and his name is James Steffel, and he was my speech teacher back in the late 70s, early 80s. We're going to get into that a little bit, but the reason why I wanted to do this is, in case you haven't heard, I'm going to be inducted into the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame coming up here Labor Day weekend in Okoboji. Looking very forward to that. A very humble award that I did not expect. But they said, when they called me back in January of early of 2025, they said, well, you're going to be inducted. And I said, really? Why? And they said, well, you've been doing what you were doing for 45 years, right? And I said, yeah. So I guess according to the committee and people that actually vote on you, they elect one DJ of the year, and I get to have that honor this year. So I thought it'd be fun to go back to where this whole dream, this whole journey started. And you, Mr. Steffel, can I still call you that? Is it?
You can call me whatever you would like, Marlon, so
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, yeah, because actually back in speech, I don't think either one of us talked about the whole Harry O thing but I did have it always in the back of my mind. I probably should explain that, how I got the name Harry O, because everybody always asks. And it's because of David Jansen. Now, you got to go all the way back in 69. He was the original fugitive. Do you remember the movie The Fugitive?
I watched the series, The
Okay.
Fugitive, so I know that particular
Okay.
actor too.
Well, he's been gone for a while now, but he was the actual original of The Fugitive. He came out with a show in 1974 called Harry O. And the show was only on for a couple of years. I believe it was on ABC. And I don't know, I loved the show. It was a drama show. He was a kind of a journalist and an investigator, private investigator at the same time. And he would, you know, basically take on crime is what he would do. And I just thought that name would be the perfect fit for a radio name, Harry O. Well, when I started using that, when in my radio career, I was told by program directors, you got to have a full name. So I added Neil to it, Harry O'Neill. So that was completely made up. And that's how I got the name Harry O. That's the short story of it right there. And if you Google Harry O, you'll get David Jansen on the first page. I'm on the second page. So anyway, I thought it'd be fun to have you on here. Mr. Steffel, when did you start teaching at Osage High School?
I in 1974 graduated from UNI, so
Okay.
that's when I started, and I continued for 36 years.
36
And I
years.
know, Marlon, that you graduated in 1981.
That's right.
And it turns out that that was my seventh year of teaching only. So
Okay.
uh,
All
I
right.
was young, and
Yeah.
you were young. We both were young.
Very young. Very young.
Yes.
So I'm going to take us back to where you came involved with my life. And that is back in when I was 16 years old. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I got a part time job at KOSG right there in
Yes,
Osage,
definitely, because I knew the gentleman who ran
the
that
radio station.
particular radio station. So yes, I do know that you started there, and actually I went to that studio just to see how it was, that
How it
radio
worked.
studio.
Yeah.
I mean, I went there to visit.
I think you knew. I think I told you how much I loved radio and how I would actually be a pretend DJ in my own bedroom. I had my own little makeshift studio with my turntables. I had a microphone that was suspended by string because I was a kid. I didn't know what a mic
Yeah.
stand was. I didn't
Mhm.
know. I mean, I couldn't afford it. I was just I made my money on farming and stuff, just helping out, but that was about it. But that's what I did. I practiced and practiced. I practiced the talking up a ramp of a song because I thought, if anything, that was the one that actually moved me the most. I couldn't believe how a DJ could talk stuff up a ramp of a song, which is the introduction to a song before the vocals come in. That's what's called a ramp. And I was like, wow, this is so good. How do they stop right before the vocal comes in? Well, that's what they did. And that's what I tried to master for the longest time. And then, of course, I memorized all of the intros to a lot of music back then. And let's face it, we both grew up in the great music of of, to me, the best decade ever of music was the 70s. And I was playing album cuts. I was playing, 45 singles and all that in practice time. But when I got to KOSG, I was actually working a lot of weekends there. And I think I gave you updates as I would go for what I was doing. I know I was playing some programs on the weekends and things like that. And I think because I want to say, didn't I have speech? I want to say there was two speech classes, speech one and speech two. Was that right?
I'm trying to think intro to speech, unless it was
Yeah.
advanced, I
They could
didn't
have called
belong
it
in.
something different. Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
know. But I want to say it was like speech one when I was a sophomore. And then I want to say that you were my teacher starting as my sophomore year. Does that sound right?
Could be, yes. I did English 10 and I did
English.
speech, I did
Okay.
drama.
Okay. But I didn't know how long you were there before because you were a young guy, probably what, in your 20s, right? When you
Correct.
went
So my
on.
first job in Osage, so I stayed for 36 years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. And you've seen a lot of people in those 36 years.
Yes,
I was just one of actually quite a few that got into broadcasting.
correct,
We talked about before we even did this interview. We talked about George Bauer.
correct.
I want to say
Mhm.
he was a class of '84, and he did Mason City Radio for a little bit, and then he ended up in Spirit Lake, and I want to say he's in Spencer now. He's still doing it, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's great, yeah.
yeah. Do you keep in touch with any of these people?
Um, Not really. No, I haven't. I actually, I mean, it was, Emily Schmidt who
Okay.
also
Yep.
went into broadcasting, and actually she went into at CNN.
She was at part of CNN, right?
Correct,
Yeah.
and traveled the world, and, she was involved too, so and I
I
think
want to.
Jim O'Connor also did some broadcasting.
Yeah, I want to say she was part, or she's still part of that yet. I want to say
Yes,
she's still
yes, I
part of
do
that.
see her often when she does some of the, stories,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I did have a chance to see her when she was in Osage,
Okay, okay.
so,
And
yes,
do you remember? I graduated with Jerome Risting,
right, and,
and
he's
he of course is
currently working at a TV
KIMT.
station.
Yeah,
Right, and I have to tell you this, my first job that I really wanted was to go into radio. I thought
really.
it would be great. I mean, I thought it would be great to do. I love records. I have thousands of records, so 60s, 70s, going all the way back, but,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's why I was grateful that you decided to do broadcasting, so
That's right. Well, we have to talk about what you got me interested in the radio news field for these speech contests. Now, I did some other speech contests as well for you. I don't know if you remember, but I did extemporaneous and I did some. I remember Phyllis Pyatt. Her and I
yes.
did some
Maybe maybe
uh,
it was duet acting. Did you
duet
do
acting or something like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now I understand radio news is still a part of those speech contests. Is that
I
right?
believe so. I mean, and now they're doing, TV also, broadcasting. I don't know if they had that when you were doing speech contests where you would videotape newscasts.
I don't think they did. No, I know
Yes,
it just
okay.
it
So
was
they
all
are doing that now too. I mean, that's a part that they've added too, so
I
that's
remember preparing, you were coaching me on how to take we were ripping the AP wire back then,
correct.
and then, I had to put together a 5-minute newscast, with the weather, and then there was also a commercial that I had to come up with. I
And I
remember.
do believe they gave you a news bulletin too that you had to read spontaneously.
Spontaneous,
So
right, yeah.
correct, and it had to be within a time limit.
That's right.
So, it was either 4 to 5 minutes. If you went under or over, then that was a disqualification. So you had
Yep,
to time everything.
at a time, everything, yeah.
Mhm.
So, let me take you back, and this is kind of a personal side and that probably nobody knows, so they're gonna find out about it right now. So, I was actually let go of KOSG, the only radio station I ever got let go of, and I was distraught. I was extremely down and out, and that's where you came in because I think you wanted to lift me up a little bit and wanted to get me going in these speech contests, to give me, I think just a good background and then get feedback from the judges, that were judging me or whatever. And I want you to know that that meant everything to me. I mean, I tell you what, teachers everyone needs to realize that teachers are there to, take you under their wings. If you've got something that you wanted to do and you did that. So I'm so appreciative of what
Well,
you
I knew that you had the ability. I mean, you have such a distinct speaking voice.
right.
And for radio, you see people on radios, especially like Sirius now,
Yeah.
and you always wonder, what do they look like?
What do
And
they look
your voice just stood out like, you need to be in broadcasting.
Yeah. Do you remember what I sounded like back then? Like a kid.
Didn't we? Didn't we all? Yes.
Oh, we sure did. Well, I tell you what happened was, obviously I did well in the speech contests, and I can't remember if it was, I want to say it was my junior year or senior year. I got elected to go to Allstate, and
Correct.
I want to say you told me that was your first Allstate speech
Could be back
contest.
because
Yeah.
I'd only been teaching for, what, 7 years, so
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember you made me a little plaque. A real
mhm.
nice little plaque or trophy of some sort that said Allstate speech on it, with my name, and that's what I needed. And if it wasn't, and I still remember two of those judges at Allstate, and I want to say this was in
It's at
was it
UNI,
at UNI they did, yeah.
University of Northern Iowa, I believe.
I thought they had the judges were always radio people. I mean, they were, and I want to say that there was one or two there from WHO in Des Moines. And if it wasn't for them giving me outstandings and giving me really nice verbiage, what they wrote saying you should think about this as a career, that's what I needed. And
Right,
we celebrated. It was awesome.
right.
It was
I know
very
you went to Brown Institute up in the cities.
And you got me, yeah. And you're the one that told me that, hey, they got a great broadcasting school up there in Minneapolis if you want to go there. And I want to say that maybe I got that All-State award in my senior year. I just can't remember junior or senior year. And then I remember going to my parents saying I'm going to go to broadcasting school. They were shocked. They didn't know what I was going to do. And I ended up enrolling in that. As soon as I graduated in 81, I went there and went to Brown Institute. And that's what got me going. And they had a placement department there that found you work. They were the main. Imagine that, back in
Yeah,
the
that's
days.
great, after you
Yeah,
go through the schooling and then you get a job, and I know you went out west.
that's right. My first full time gig was then in Wyoming. I was in
Mhm.
Sheridan, Wyoming.
Sheridan, yeah.
Yep. And I was there for about 3.5 years. I got a call to go to work for that was Kim Love Broadcasting. Then I went to work for Stewart Broadcasting in Grand Island, Nebraska, and I did mornings at KROE in Sheridan. Then I ended up doing afternoons. I was known as the Afternoon Wonder back then, and that was that.
Mhm.
And both of those radio stations in Wyoming and Nebraska were more like news and information type stations that played music once in a while. And then I wasn't even there for 9 months, and I had the call. At the time, I was married, and she really wanted to go back home. And I got the call from KLSS then, and I want to say I even got a hold of you and said, "Hey, I'm coming back to Mason City," and I worked at KLSS from 1985 all the way to 2016. There was 31 years there as being a morning host, and then I decided that I wanted to move on with my career. 31 years was long enough, and to be honest with you, I was tired of the corporate radio takeover, and I came here to the Fox because it was locally owned. And I've been here now officially for 9 years here at the Fox. And now I run an afternoon show. It's 10 until 5 actually. So that's my journey.
Yes, and I have to tell you that I listen to KLSS all the time,
Yeah.
of course,
Afternoon.
and
You heard all
listening to
those
you,
crazy
and
things that are
also I would have individuals say, "Did you know that Harry O mentioned your name?"
yeah.
And I said, "Well, that's great." And I I
Well, you better
searched
start listening then, huh?
I searched Marlon.
Yeah.
Your name, and the only reason is because I wanted to know exactly what year you graduated. And it's
Yeah.
interesting because I came up with on Facebook. I don't know if you, well, you probably can't see this, but this is a group of students that you graduated with, and it turns out that Phyllis Pyatt, that you
Right.
mentioned, is one of them in the picture here.
How about that?
Carla Mitchell, who's still, I mean, she's married.
Yeah.
There's Kurt Angel,
Yep.
Carla Chisholm,
Yep.
Lori Beamer,
Yep.
Kendall Dunkelberg,
Yep.
and it looks like they're going to plan a 45th class reunion,
Yeah.
hopefully for you guys,
Are you going
coming
to
up
come
in
out?
2026.
Do
So
you do you get to come out to reunions?
you know what? I graduated from West Delaware, Manchester, and I
Okay.
just attended my 55th class
Oh my.
reunion. And we had one
Wow.
every 5 years,
Right.
and I attended all of them. So
Wow.
if you invite me, I will come.
Well, I think I probably
If you decide to come to the class reunion.
well,
So
I'm going to finally because see that's the other thing. I had a side hustle for 42 years of doing weddings.
right,
And,
and that's another thing. We asked you if you could do my daughter's wedding, but you
yep,
had already booked.
I was
So
already booked
we
up.
were disappointed, but
I ended up doing 2,000 weddings by
oh my gosh. I
2017.
mean, can you imagine?
That was 8 years ago that I hit 2,000, and I lost track after that. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's
yeah,
amazing. You were so in demand.
yeah, it's been fun. I never, I was a kid growing up on the farm, and I did something that it's funny because old George Carlin bits used to talk about this about how kids are so structured anymore that they just need to daydream. They need to look out of a window and daydream. And I swear it was that time on the farm that I had as a kid that I daydreamed. I wanted to become something. I just didn't know what it was going to be, and my dream came true. And here I am at 45 years now, and I hope to make 50. I'm not going to be retirement age until I get 50 years in broadcast.
Hmm.
So I'm doing one thing my
That
whole
you
life.
love. Yeah, I mean, you love it. So
Yeah.
why stop?
So when you started, okay, so you, I don't know, what was your vision, I guess, when you started growing up and then decided, well, I want to get into teaching?
Well, I guess, in my family, I had four sisters, and
Right.
none of them had gone through college. Okay.
Right.
So I was one of the first to graduate. And I guess I had a drama teacher who was very inspirational. So encouraged me. I was in all the plays, did speech
Right.
contests, and I decided I wanted to continue doing that in drama and speech. So
Right.
that is how I got
See?
into education. So,
See? It's the same thing that you went through, and you
right.
gave that to me. You gave me the inspiration to keep
And
on
as a
going.
matter of fact, at my class reunion, the English teacher that I had and a couple of teachers were there. So I visited with her and told
Mhm.
her the influence that she had on me too. So,
I tell you,
yeah.
teachers don't get enough credit, I swear, and I think it's you guys just had you would see the talent in people. I mean, talk about that a little bit because you would actually look at people and say, "Gosh, this you'd be really good on stage doing the plays.
And
We'll get him."
it was amazing because some of the students that early, they always thought, drama, speech, it's not for athletes,
Right.
But I got individuals that were athletes and they decided, this is really amazing to, participate and do things that maybe you're not safe with. And they took the challenge and
Right.
yep. So, I mean, I enjoyed, and of course, doing speech contests was extracurricular, so that involved outside, like
Mm,
everything, and it was amazing. I enjoyed working with the students and
mm.
doing the plays. I did quite a few of them.
I remember. I was the ones I remember. I remember being in Carousel.
Okay.
I played Charlie in Carousel, if I remember.
So musical, yeah, it had some great Rogers and Hammerstein
Yeah,
stuff.
see, because I was also singing at the time. Besides being in speech, I
Oh
was
yeah.
singing. So
hmm
we did a lot of musicals together that you were directing, along with. Do you remember the music teacher back then?
Well, I'm trying to think. That could have been Mary Swenson, or was
She
it?
she
Was it?
was one of them, but Kevin Hubbard was the other one.
Okay, Kevin. Okay,
Yeah,
Kevin was there, and then Sue Frankie came. I don't know if you knew,
yeah. I think,
but
yeah, she came in after me. I think.
yeah,
Well, I'm going to say I had Hubbard first, and then I had. I don't know. We're going to have all these Osage people correct us as we, going to get messages and stuff. You
but it's been yeah. So, anyways, it turns out I just went to the service club lunch, and that's why I couldn't do
Okay.
it the day you wanted to. But they are doing a musical that I actually directed, and it was called Anything Goes,
Okay.
and it all takes place on a ship.
Yeah.
And so they're going to redo that coming up this year. So I said, well,
Right.
amazing, So
So something like Carousel that I remember, I want to say maybe Oklahoma. I just can't
yeah,
remember.
Oklahoma, I did. That's another Rogers and Hammerstein,
Yeah.
Oklahoma Carousel.
Would you repeat some of these throughout the years? Or
Usually not. I mean,
okay.
but being there so many years, some of the music was so well known that it decided it was worth doing some of them.
Right.
Probably The Wizard of Oz was one of the big ones that I did.
Sure.
And
Yep.
that particular one. But
Yeah.
so yeah,
Can you imagine? I mean, you've been retired now from teaching for
for
how many years?
15 years, I retired in 2010,
Oh, gee. I think
and
I was part of your retirement
yes, you
send
were
off. I
right,
I got to roast you, Ron Fakis, and Jim Youngblood,
or Tom
or
Youngblood.
Tom Youngblood.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it was
It's old
amazing.
age. I'm
Yeah,
getting.
yeah. So
I remember everything. So
yeah, so it was great.
yeah. Well, and then there's no teachers there anymore, obviously that I had back in Osage. So everybody has moved on or whatever. Well,
Correct.
did you were you ready to retire, or did you still wish that you could have done more?
Actually, it turned out my wife decided, we went to IPERS, which is the Iowa,
Sure.
and they suggested, why not go ahead and retire? So actually, my wife retired at 57. I
Okay.
retired at 58. But
Wow.
then I did work 12 years at our new wellness center. So I retired and then went directly to the Cedar River complex for 12 years and
Right.
worked there. So
And you
it
still
wasn't like I wasn't working. So
So you stayed in Osage all
Yeah.
these years.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. And
Yes.
what are you doing? You doing that now, or what are you doing now? I know you work with the KC Hall as well.
Knights of Columbus, right? I'm a Knights of Columbus. I was the financial secretary. I'm a
Right.
Lions Club member. Work with our local Catholic church. So
Hmm.
still busy doing things. So
Hmm.
but not employed right now. So just enjoying. So
Offer your opinion. What's speech like now in school?
They have gotten a lot of students involved
Yeah.
uh, with our auditorium, our 500-seat auditorium that's
Right.
attached to our wellness center. They have
Hmm.
outstanding productions. We have Cedar Summerstock Theater that comes here. These are college students that do internships and they do productions. They actually do like six different six shows. I should say they do four shows, but they do six of them. And one of
Okay.
the biggest this year was the Buddy Holly. They did a
Oh,
Buddy Holly, and
yep.
they went to the Surf Ballroom and performed, and it was a sellout there, and then sell out here also. So,
That's awesome. Yeah.
um,
Everybody getting involved
but
now.
they do have a lot of students involved in speech contests, and also drama. So that's great.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. I'm sure they've probably dropped some categories and added some other
Yeah,
categories.
I'm not really familiar with all the categories, but they've added some.
Because I want to say, bringing back a name we mentioned earlier, one of my classmates was Kendall Dunkelberg. He is like,
Right.
he's a very well known writer now and a poet, right? Doesn't he write
Correct.
poetry?
I was looking on the website and it
Yep.
mentioned his poetry and comments that some of the students made when he had come back. And I know Kermit and Kendall, both
Yeah, his older brother.
Dunkelbergs, and when we built the CRC, I think it was Kermit who came back and did Sawyer, like what Osage is named after. So
Right.
I had a chance to work with him and be on stage. So,
Oh, that's right, because the school's on Sawyer Drive.
and you remember you came over because when we first opened, we did that physical thing.
Yep.
Let's get physical. I don't know if you remember that, but we were on stage together.
I do remember that
Yeah,
vaguely, but I do
it was
remember.
one of the openings, and
Yeah,
so yeah.
that's great. So many great memories. Do you remember? I don't know. What's some of your favorite memories that you had, whether I was in your class or not, from the early days, I guess, when you were teaching?
Well, I don't know. It's always been exciting. It seems that you always remember the great students you have, but then
Right.
you remember some of the others. But I think it was just working with those and trying to get them motivated, and
Sure.
the many hours that I spent doing contest and set work, and that was something that
I
takes up
remember
a
you.
lot of time.
Yeah, you were very involved with the sets all the time and all the
Correct.
plays that you did. Well, if we were in it, we all had to paint,
Right.
paint the backdrop
You
all
had
the
to do something on the technical side, and, that's part of, show business or whatever
time. Right.
behind the scenes and everything else, so,
So what was the first one that you did? Do you remember your very first play?
I'm trying to think. I really can't remember right off.
Okay.
I do remember I did 1984, which is George Orwell.
Orwell, yeah.
Big Brother is watching
Watch.
you. And maybe it was Death of a Salesman by
Oh, that
Arthur
yeah,
Miller too.
I do
Something
remember that.
really heavy, but
We were
you tried to do actually some
right.
comedies. They seem to do the best often.
Speaking of comedy, I remember mentioning Phyllis. I hope she's watching this or listening to us here on this podcast, but I remember, and she's gonna remember too, because we've actually joked about it. I'm just gonna ask you, do you remember the one we did? The duet acting? Yeah, I'm just
No,
gonna
right
okay.
offhand,
Yeah,
no.
I'm sure you have so many in your mind or whatever. The Unexpurgated Memoirs of Bernard Mercantile.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes, that's a little bit racy. I mean,
It
no,
was
I mean,
racy. I remember
but
you
it was
saying that.
funny,
It's like, well, it's a
and
little
it
racy.
turns out, yeah, it
Yeah.
dealt with, miscommunication with
Yeah.
yeah,
Never listened to each other.
so
I remember. Well, I tell you what, Mr. Steffel, I appreciate you talking with us. I just, I was really feeling anxious to be able to, speak with you, and here we are. My career of 45 years, and soon to be. I don't know. I don't know about this whole retirement game. Everybody keeps asking me,
mhm,
so how long are you going to do it? I said, I don't know. I said, I
yeah,
talk for a living, so why even quit, right? But
right,
things will change in the next
mhm,
5 to 7, 8 years, I'm sure, just like anything else. I mean, radio is different than what it was.
I know you're a big Vikings fan,
I
so,
am.
that's what and, you have 2 sons, that's correct
Yep.
too,
I have
so,
2 sons,
yeah,
exactly, and
so
and and they had to grow up with a DJ dad, and
right.
they got, well known on their own.
Well, that's
So
good.
you have yeah, how about your family? You had how many kids?
3.
3.
So, our one daughter is actually, she is in Belmont,
Okay.
Andrea, and
Okay.
then, I have 2 children that are actually deaf. Okay.
Okay.
Laura actually teaches or works for the Waterloo school system in a deaf class, and
Wow.
then also teaches at Hawkeye, um,
Okay.
College, and then our son is, Mark is in the, Grimes area
Okay. Okay.
working for the post office, so,
And Andrea, does she teach then? Is that what she's doing?
she went to Iowa State University, and,
Okay.
our granddaughter will be going to ISU, and she went into computer, uh, technology and works for a company dealing with computers,
Yeah.
so that's great, and
Yeah.
your daughter will be going to Iowa State, so they start,
Wow.
next Monday, so that's great, so,
Time flies when you're having
it
fun.
does, so
Yeah. That is wonderful.
yeah.
And your wife, does she kinda just help you with the,
She's
uh
very active in the church, so she
okay.
does that, and she does a lot of decorating for the church and,
Mm.
takes care of everything else,
What would you say you miss the most about teaching?
I think the interaction among, not only the teachers, but also, getting to know the students
For sure.
and, seeing what their strengths are and trying to
Yeah.
make them, uh, a little bit more outgoing and, you know, try to make their strengths, important in their life. Direct
Can you remember and maybe share with the audience, some thoughts that you had about me when I first, started,
You always had a
under your
smile,
wing?
I should say, you seem to be very dedicated, listen to criticism quite well, which I think, helps. So, never seems to be you didn't really seem, like, down much, so that's good.
No. Well, and you said it earlier in the interview that, you wanted to get into kinda radio. Uh,
Right. I
so
always thought it would be great to do that because I would listen to that time it was WLS in Chicago area.
Chicago, yeah. I think we
So
had
I
a little
lived
chat
in
about that.
that part of the state, so I always thought, "Hey, that'd be exciting." And
Yeah.
now,
That was
you
back
know
when AM radio was so huge,
correct,
and
right.
I remember us talking about that on WLS in Chicago and all those DJs, and man, they
And
were just
and I'm known as the record person because I have over 500 45s that I kept, and I have
wow.
vinyl, and I had CDs, and,
Yeah,
all the '60s and all the '70s and I bought all the Now
right.
CDs that came out, so but, if anyone ever wanted music, they just came to me and I said, "I have it." "Okay." So
You have I remember that. Yes, I do.
so
I do remember that. Yeah.
so
I unfortunately, I got rid of all my records. I got a price I
yeah, I
couldn't
know, you put them all on
yeah.
whatever they use now.
Well, I was doing the record stuff for when I started out doing shows,
Correct.
you know,
I
and
mean, you gotta be updated, and it's so
oh,
much nicer.
got tired of lugging all those
No
around, and
kidding,
you know, and then
so I actually still have a stereo that I use, and, I
that's
do
right.
also play some of my 45s, but they're all on CDs now too, so
Yeah.
but,
Well,
listen, I wanna congratulate you on your honor
thank
because,
you.
I went through and I read about that, in Okoboji coming up, and they honor only one disc jockey,
Yeah.
Marlon, and, that's a great honor for you, and,
Mm.
you enjoy that during is it Labor Day weekend?
Labor Day weekend, yep,
Right.
on Sunday afternoon,
Mhm.
and that's the ceremony. We're up there all weekend because
Right.
they have
So
we have to do different things and stuff that they have us doing.
right.
But yeah, but I got to tell you, this is funny. So
Mhm.
you're the only interview that I would ever do that would let you call me Marlon.
Well,
'Cause
I hope you don't mind. You know what?
not at all, not
I
at all.
still have individuals that live here that I have as they were my, students, they still
Yeah,
call me Mr. Stuffle.
Mr. Stuffle.
So,
Yeah.
but, you know
You'll always be Mr. Stuffle to me, you know, and you will be mentioned in my I guess acceptance speech of the award, and because you had a lot to do with my journey, and
Mhm.
you just need to know that
Well,
I am
thanks.
I know that I'm just one of many people that admire you and respected you, and if it wasn't for you kind of, you know, giving me the criticism I need or getting me, you know, prepared for all of these speech contests or whatever, I could have never done it. And it just, you know, it's really, you know, I love how everybody has their own version of their own journey. And
Right.
you were just in the early stages of that. You lifted me up after I got let go after that 16-year-old kid was, I was told I was too creative.
Hmm. Mm.
And
Well,
that's
it's always
pretty
good to
much
be
what
creative, just dream there, so
he did come up to me, by the way, when I was at KLSS back in the early 90s. He did come up to me at a remote broadcast and say, I want to shake your hand and say, I guess I was wrong about you,
Hmm.
because he still remembered. And I
Yeah.
still remembered.
Mhm.
And everybody, when I tell that story, everybody says, oh gosh, did you let him have it? And I go, well, no, I didn't. I was in I mean, I've enjoyed my journey, and every day that I've had in this radio business has been mostly good. There's been some bad times too, but I never got let go until
And,
that
that's
first.
probably what you needed. I mean,
Yeah.
saying and then you said, "Well, I wanna prove that, I can do it," so
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
did it so great. Well,
Well,
congratulations, and, you enjoy the
yeah.
celebration.
Well,
In
I
fact
just want to let you know that on the award it'll say Harry O. So,
yeah,
and from what I understand, I was told that I'm in the Library of Congress after that.
great.
So,
Yeah,
whatever that means, except for maybe
yes.
taking the grandkids to DC sometime and say, we're going to the biggest library in the world right now.
Yeah,
Look it up. So,
sounds
all
great.
right. Well, Mr. Stebble, thank you so much. And I
Sure.
hope you continue on. I mean, do you have any ambitions, I guess, to, I know you, what are you in your 70s now?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We have been traveling. I mean, we spent 12 years in Florida for 3 months during the
Right.
winter time.
Okay.
But, now we're giving that up, and, we're going to, like, Arizona where my wife's sister lives and,
Right.
flying to different places. So,
Yeah.
just doing some traveling and things of that sort, so
Oh, I was going to ask you too. I forgot. Do you still keep in touch with any of the teachers that you used to work with?
Yes, Tom
Okay.
Youngblood,
Okay.
is a very close friend. John Luz, who also,
Mhm.
was the art teacher, and,
Yep.
Jim Kanega was the counselor.
Counselor.
So
Yep.
yep, yep. So, and actually all of those were in Florida. So
Oh,
they all
geez.
lived in the same complex we did. So that's
Ah,
why we went down.
you're
Yeah.
all snowbirds.
We've been friends for years.
Do you
So
ever have those conversations when you're all together like that, just talking about old
yep,
students?
we do.
You
Yeah.
do?
And as a matter of fact, one of our neighbors was a teacher too, right across the street here. And
Yeah.
our next door neighbor was a teacher, and down the road are teachers. And so there are quite a few that are still
Wow.
here in the community. So,
Well, I hope that speech in English continues to be part of the forum of every school system around, because the kids need it.
yes, they
They definitely do, because it really. I mean, as a kid, I remember how much how strong I got being in front of people. That was very important back then,
right.
and and whether it would be a play or musical or a speech contest, yep, we were always nervous. Of
Yeah,
course,
and that's
that's all
part of
part of
it, but you
it.
gotta, learn how to cope with that. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
All right. Well, you've got a very happy graduate here of class of '81 here, Mr. Stoffel, and
yes.
thanks
So,
again for
congratulations,
uh,
and
sticking with me. Yeah, all these years, and
yeah,
not knowing what I was going to do. I don't think nobody knows
no,
what they're going to do, and just to be able to look at somebody and talk about, so what have you been doing with your life? Well, I've been doing one profession all my life.
yeah,
I've been talking, and hopefully somebody listening. So it's kind of
yeah,
like you, right?
yeah, right.
There you go. All right,
Okay, well, thanks so much for inviting me, and
you got it. And
congratulations again.
you bet. And you keep enjoying your Florida retirement there. And maybe someday soon I'll be able to join you guys in Florida.
Right. Yeah.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.